Hello. Today we're going to learn about the elements of art. Line is the element of art, which is a moving dot that has length and width. What can you do with line? In this particular design, I did a contour line drawing, and I focused on the outlines and edges of the cardinal. And then I did an overlay of alternating line directions to give it an interesting effect. So what can you do with line? Shape is the element of art, which is an enclosed two-dimensional area. It can be organic or it can be geometric. What can you do with the element of shape? On the left side, I created a design with organic shapes, more free-form, nature-like shapes. And then on the right side, I created a design with geometric shapes, where I divided up the cardinal with straight, man-made looking shapes. Form is the element of art in which objects appear three-dimensional. How can you create three-dimensional forms? Well, you could shade things and understand light interaction. In this particular design, I was inspired by the idea of the cross contour. So if you think of a beach ball or you think of a tin can, how do lines wrap around a form? Texture is the element of art which describes the way a surface feels or appears to feel. What could you do with texture? Well, in this cardinal, I divided up the space and I explored different textures. So I used parallel lines, which would be hatching, cross lines, which would be cross-hatching, dots, which would be stippling, and then I invented a couple other textures and explored that as well. So what can you do with the element of texture? Value is the element of art, which is associated with lightness or darkness. So how could you use value? So in this particular design, I decided to use light, medium, and dark values, and I practiced shading techniques. Held my pencil sideways, and I started off with light grays and then added in some medium grays and then added in some darks. How can you be creative with the element of value? Space is the element of art which indicates area and is something to show depth. So there are a number of ways that you could show space. Think about it. How can you show space? Well, you can make things look three-dimensional, or you could even do a positive and negative space study. So in this particular design, I did a silhouette of the cardinal and drew lines through it, and I alternated the positive and negative spaces with black and white. The positive space is the cardinal. It's the object. The negative space would be the empty or void areas around it. So what could you do with space? Color is the element of art, which is the reflection of light. In the science world, you'll study the color spectrum. So that's something to research and think about. How can you use the element of color? A good starting point would be like what I did. I explored the color wheel in this design. I created a design that had the primary colors, the secondary colors, and those in-between colors, which you could call those tertiary or intermediate colors. A fun way to study color would be to look up different color schemes, like warm colors, cool colors, complementary colors. So there's a lot to study with all the elements of design or all the elements of art. So take a subject, try to work that subject, and try to think about all the different possibilities that you could explore with design. So working with the elements are a really fun way to be creative, to draw inspiration from, and to use the elements to guide you to make good design. So thank you for joining me today, and good luck on expressing the elements of art in your artwork. Have a wonderful day.